Hi everyone, Lisa Gifford here and
Margot Rathbun.
we're here doing something fun today, aren't we?
We are.
What are we doing?
We are doing the 4-patch bowl cozy.
So welcome today to Creating with Martelli. It's all about the bowl cozies today, and we got them here in front of us. And Martelli actually has 4 different sizes of the 4-patch bowl cozy. So I hope you all are joining us, and if you're going to be sewing right along with us, because we're going to be making 2 different styles today, aren't we? Mm-hmm. We're going to make one where it's just going to be where you cut your fabric, you cut your batting, you layer them up, you sew them together like a 4-patch, and then we are going to show if you was to do pre-quilted fabric, or if you take your pieces of fabric and your batting and you just go ahead and get some quilting done on it. And I think that will be an interesting look. Now, that wasn't our idea. Wasn't that Frankie?
I think it was Frankie.
I think Frankie, she had come into the store and she had told us that she had been pre-quilting hers. And I think they would probably hold their shape a little bit better because they have a tendency to shrink a little bit. All right, so the supplies that you're going to need to be able to put this together is, of course, you're going to need some fabric. And because it's like a 4-patch, we're doing, 2 different colors. So they kind of go well together. So you're going to need some fabric. And I'm not sure about how much you're going to need because it's going to depend on the sizes that you work on. What are some of the other things you're going to need? You're going to need some clips. Pinky shears, I think, are going to be a good thing to have because you got a curve that you're trimming around. The Martelli precision scissors or some really good snips would be good because I like to trim away some of the excess batting. Of course, your rotary cutter, a turning tool. I got my trusty knitting needle. I couldn't remember what that was. Of course, you're going to need the Martelli templates, and I've got all 4 sizes here. I've got the 16, I've got the 14, I've got the 12, we've got the 10. So we got all 4 of the different sizes today. We're going to focus on making the 12 today. So here are some of the different sizes that we have. So this one is showing you, this one is the 10, and it's a perfect size for like a littler soup bowl. Mm-hmm. And here it is again in a smaller bowl. Pick this up at Dollar Tree, I think. just so you can see this littler one here. This one here is the 12. So I got a larger soup bowl in this one, as you can also see here. That's the size right here.
That'd be my ice cream bowl.
Is this your ice cream bowl? That would be Curtis's ice cream bowl. I can tell you that right now. Or it might be this next one. This is the 14. So this would be something that you might want to have a little bit larger for, I don't know, if you want to heat up a couple things in the microwave. So it's a little bit larger bowl. And then the big one, that's a pretty good size bowl. But you see why it's a 4-patch? Because you're putting it together like a 4-patch. So it's a little bit different than some of the bowl cozies that you see out there. It's 4 pieces. Now, some of the things that we recommend is 100% cotton batting. And if you know that this might end up in a microwave, what is it that you don't want to have on that fabric?
Polyester.
Or metallic, right? Anything metallic, polyester or metallic. You want it to be 100% cotton. And I've never tried it, but I would say nothing that has any kind of a metallic sheen or print to it at all, if you know that this might end up being used in a microwave. And another thing, if you know you might be using this in your microwave, is your batting. And that's kind of important. So we're using 100% cotton batting. This is the brand is the Wrap and Zap. Mm-hmm. So what makes it different than normal cotton batting that you would use like on a quilt or something like that is that it's 100% quilting. It's not a blend, but it doesn't have any scrim in it. So what is scrim? Scrim is a product that's in the batting that kind of holds it all together. It's a really fine, meshy type of surface that's in the regular batting for quilting. But this is, right here is 100% cotton. It's no scrim in this at all. So that's what I would recommend if you are going to be putting it in the microwave. We use these for our potato bowl, our potato bags, other things that that you're going to be putting it in the microwave. But if you're not going to be putting it on the microwave, then, any kind of fabric or batting would work just as long don't put it in the microwave. So keep it safe. Don't use products that would have scrim in it or products that would have any kind of metallic or polyester. Use 100% cotton. So, oh, and here's the label so that you can see when you see the, I pulled these out so it showed the 4 different sizes that comes on your packaging. When you get your 4-patch bowl cozy, not only do you get the template, but we have full written instructions that you're going to be getting with it. We will be putting the I and now we're going to have the V's on here because this is your video to help you to put this all together. So who do we got joining us today? Can you see?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Deborah says hello, sweet ladies.
Hi, Deborah.
Pamela Wright Seward says hello, ladies.
Hi. There's Frankie.
Margot and Lisa.
Hey, Amy.
Frankie.
Hi.
Ladies.
Carol's here with us. Oh, awesome. Oh, so good. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I think we're going to go ahead and get right to it because we're going to do the 2 versions. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut these out, and you could use 28 millimeter or the 45. They work very well for this. And you could layer them up and cut them, or you could just layer up your fabrics and just cut them and then cut out your batting separately. I mean, it's up to you. And then whatever you are most convenient with doing for getting all your cutting. But what you have to do, if you're going to be using 2 different colors, you're going to cut out 4 of one color and then 4 of the other. And then I'm going to show you when you're putting them together what's very important so that it has that alternating look. It's a matter of where you place it to sew it so you have that look going all the way around. All right, so I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so that we can get to work. Put these back here. Oh, I forgot to turn our light on. I picked this up in Houston, and I just love this. Isn't just this adorable? And if I hold, yeah, it changes colors. Or if I'm going to hold it down so it will switch colors. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to get it to switch colors. Oh, there we go. Love that. Okay. All right. So I already have some of these pre-cut. So I cut out 4 of the black and 4 of my gold. And then with my batting, I cut out 8 pieces of the batting. So just using the template that you're going to use, and we're going to use the 12 today. I believe that's the size. So here is fabric, and here is, and I just have it folded, and then I have 2 pieces of this folded. Now here's a hint to kind of reduce on some of that shrinkage. Go ahead. This would be one of those ones where I would pre-wash it, wouldn't you? I would pre-wash your fabric. It might reduce some of that shrinkage that happens a lot of times and where it gets a little bit distorted when you first wash them for the first time. But here I just have 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4. I got all 4 layers right here. And you're just going to set your template on here. I've got a little bit of a pattern here, so I'm kind of looking at the direction, knowing that this is the top of it. So I would just set this on here, and I would just cut out 2 and then cut out 2. You want me to cut? You want to cut? You want me to cut?
You cut.
Okay. See if there's any questions out there. That's the one amazing thing about the Martelli templates is that they have our Browning Get-A Grip fabric on the back. So I can easily turn this and maneuver it into, and it's going to hold everything in place for me. And then just follow it all the way around. And look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces all cut out, ready to go. So I would repeat that and cut out 2 more and then 2 more. And then grabbing your batting, you would go ahead also and cut out 8 pieces of the batting. And then once you have your pieces all cut out, then you're going to lay your batting on top and just smooth it out. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could tap it with a little bit of a basting spray to just kind of hold it in place. It's kind of like what I've done here. I have just a tap of basting spray, or you could use those little sprinkles and just iron them on. It's just keeping everything nice and flat so it doesn't maneuver on you. So now you're going to go and sew these up. So I take 1 piece of my light, 1 piece of my dark, and I sandwich them right sides together, and I'm going to sew, if you can see, from point down to the edge, from here to here. So whichever one you have on top, you're going to repeat that for every single one. So I'm going to just lay them all together. I'm going to have the light on top of the dark. And then I'm going to sew on the same side on each one, from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. So we're going to sew all of these up. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Oh, forgot to mention cotton thread. If you're going to do it as 100% cotton, be sure to have 100% cotton thread in your machine. And I've got 100% cotton here in my upper thread and in my bobbin. So I have it both. And I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch, starting again at the top and coming off here. And I can pretty much chain piece all the way through, just making sure that whatever color I have on top, that I repeat that for all 4 pieces, all 4 sets, 8 pieces, all 4 sets. Whew. Okay. Machine on. I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch. And last one. All right. So one of the things that I like to do is trim off some of this excess batting, not so much on this long area here, but I do like to get it removed from the top. So we just trim it away here and trim it away here, because we're going to be doing a top stitch, and that's going to reduce some of that bulk that you're going to be having here and here. Now you can also take your peeking shears, and if you wanted to trim a little bit of this right here in this curve, it's going to make it where it's just going to lay just a little bit smoother. So I'm going to hand these to Margot, and she's going to work on getting all these trimmed up, and she's going to hit that picking shears. You only really need to hit just this little area right here. So she's going to get those all squared away. And while she's working on that, I'm going to show you, if you was to do pre-quilted fabric, what you would do. So here I just took, it looks like about a fat quarter of the same 2 fabrics, and I just gridded it out. I'm trying to think. I think I did this. So I'll measure what an 1.5 inches. So I just drew a line corner to corner, and then I used my my little guide that's on my machine. I'll show you what I used. Oh, I don't think I have it. There's a little bar that I have that's on my that you can have on your machine, where you can just you follow that along. It's my guide, so you can make sure all of your strips or every stitch is, the same distance apart. And I just sewed 1.5 inches one way, and then I did it the other way, and I repeated that for both of the pieces. So this one, because it's already pre-quilted and I just laid it on top of the batting, so it's just there's your stitching from underneath. So this is pre-quilted and ready to go. So this one here, we got to cut out 4 of these and 4 of these. So she's trimming. I'm going to cut some of these out. What do you think? Should I give it a shot and see if I can do it like this? I don't feel I don't have the warm fuzzies to do it like that. So I'm just going to lay my template on. We're going to cut out 4 of one and then 4 of the other. Now the difference with this one is you might have a little bit more difficulty if you've pre-quilted it and trimming off some of that excess batting when you get it sewed together. But I think the results are going to be pretty nice. Now you can use a 28 millimeter. I'm just using my 45. It's a nice gentle curve. So we got to cut out 3 more. I might be able to get 1 extra one on this side. We'll see. Anybody out there sewing along with us? Two.
We have Greg popped in.
Oh, good.
Hey, Greg.
Cher and Ellen.
Mm.
Laura Chapman. DJ the Cozies.
Oh, yeah.
Anastasia from Aurora, Illinois.
Mm.
I wore a sweater today and we're up here cooking.
Amy's others.
Amy.
She's working on foot.
Awesome. All right, 3.
Metallic fabric, right? And that is correct.
Pardon me?
No metallic fabric.
No
No
metallics.
metallics.
Nope, nope, nope. And I just need 1 more.
Beautiful out from Arkansas. Sandra Price.
Oh.
Pardon me?
We have Julie Warren from Arkansas chiming in.
Hi, how you doing, Julie?
Sandra Price, Samuel.
Here's our 4, nice and cut and pre-quilted. So that we're done with this one. Hint, if you're going to draw your line, don't use a marking tool that won't come out very well, like I did. All right, so then we're going to cut 4 of this one.
Lisa, would you mind trying to adjust your mic just a little bit? Just a smidge?
What do I do? Did you see falling over?
Yeah, I fell over a little bit.
Fell over. Is that better? How's that? Yes?
Yes, it sounded better on that.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to cut 4 of these. Is there a right and a wrong with this?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so. You want to cut these? And I'll go
Sure.
do some sewing?
Yeah.
All right, Margot's going to cut out the last 4 of the pre-quilted ones. And while she's getting ready to do that, I'm going to show you the next step. So you got your pieces here. And they should all be pretty identical. They should be identical when you open them up. Now you're just going to take 2, and this is why it was so important to make sure that you had whatever color you have on the top be the same. So that if I would have had the black one been on top, and then when I opened it up, it would have been opposite. So I want it to be where everyone's the same, so when I go to lay these together, I have that 4-patch look going on. So you take 2 of the 2 sets. So here's your 2 sets. You got 4 sets here. So I take the 2, and I'm going to place them right sides together. And now our sew line is not this angle here, not this top curve.
I'm sorry, we're still getting low messages.
Low what?
Messages?
Yeah, they're saying the volume is still low.
Really?
Volume is still low. I don't know. Is that better? Is that better?
All right.
Is my mic better? She can use my mic?
Is that better?
I believe so. I think we're there.
Can everybody hear me okay now?
Everyone let us know if it's better.
Okay, so again, here's my 2 pieces. Here's the top arc. And I'm just going to place them right sides together. And now we're just going to sew from this point across and to this point. You can clip it or not. You can nest up your seam down here And I will put one clip right there at that nesting area, because I want that to nest down on the bottom. And then I'm going to just start here and sew all the way around this arc right here on the bottom. Just sew in this. Grab the second set and do the exact same thing. Open it up, take the second one, open it up, place them right sides together. I like to nest up that bottom seam. How's your cutting going?
All right, I think.
You got this. All right,
my
and the same thing, I'm just going to sew from point to point on both sets. Can everybody hear me fine? Everybody good?
You sound loud and clear to me.
Okay. All righty. I got my glasses.
Yeah.
I always lose them. All right, so I'm just matching it up and just going to do the same thing, 1/4 of an inch, kind of do a back tack and go all the way around. First one done. And one more. And then the same thing, so now that we have it, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at our bowl coats right here. So knowing that we're going to be doing a top stitch all the way around, I like to go into these seams and I like trimming away some of this extra batting that's going to be right here on both sides. Now we had done it on the first two that we had sewn. Now we're just now trimming it back to the seam line on the other ones that we had sewn. Here and here. So I got this one all trimmed back. And just like how we had done the pinking shears on that little bit of that curve, I would also hit the pinking shears right there on that little bit of a curve right there also. And Margot's hitting it. See, I'm just removing that extra bulk that's right there. That's kind of quite a few layers that your machine's going to be going through when you are putting them right sides together and then you're doing your top stitch all the way around. So this is basically what we're looking at. All right, so then you're going to take your two pieces and you're going to put them right sides together. Because I like to have that alternating look, I'm going to have the black match up with my tan. And then I'm going to match up my curves. And I'm going to do some clipping. So I'm going to have Margot go ahead and do do some clips at all of my points and at the top of my curves for me. While she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and grab our pre-quilted pieces, and we're going to do the same thing, except they're all pre-quilted together. So we're going to go ahead and get these all sewed up. We got our 4 tans and our 4 black. So I'm going to do all of these with my black on top. Whichever one I start with, I've got to repeat that the exact same for all of them. I have black on top for all of these. So we're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. We're going to start at the top point and we're going to come to the bottom point. And we're going to kind of like chain piece these all together. And one more. Now I'm going to trim these off as best I can. We have some stitching that might be in the way because we did top stitch these. How you doing, Margot?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs a Margot. She is such a joy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what you've been doing lately. What you've got going on at the house.
Remodeling my bathroom.
That's a big undertaking.
Yes, got the granite countertop put in yesterday with my hammered stainless steel sink.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, it's going to be so pretty. So I have a mess to clean up. Because
You're thinking.
everything,
Pinking shears.
everything had to come out from underneath the vanity, so I'll be throwing stuff away.
Yep. Good time to red out. Anybody have any questions? Everybody following along okay?
Deborah wants to know what size bowl cozy are you working with here? This is the 12, right?
Yes, we're doing the 12. I think the 12 is probably the most common size for most soup bowls. I would think your larger soup bowls.
Yeah.
All right, so these are all done. So just like we had done before, we placed them right sides together. I'm going to hand these to Margot, and she's going to go ahead and get them clipped. And we are going to, I think I got all the edges clipped, I can't remember. Now I'm going to go ahead. So here's the one that we just put the right sides together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stitch all the way around, and I'm going to leave about a 2-inch opening to, so we could be able to turn it. Alrighty. And where I want to do my opening at. we'll do it right here.
Hey, Margaret,
Yes.
why did you step like 2 feet to the right? It's just that top.
You can see part of me that you don't want to see.
It was just a close up on the back of your head.
Ah.
Now when I get down to the seam, I don't just come straight up. I kind of like take a couple of stitches across it so it's not like such a sharp juncture. And before I pivot back up.
Did you use any pinking shears on the edge you had sewn together?
Yes.
Yes. Just on the curve. I mean, you don't have to, or you could just clip it, right? If you wanted to. It's such a gradual curve. And then on this part right here, we do some pinking shears on this curve here. Coming up onto my beginning. All right, so what I like to do, and this is optional, but I like to take the time to trim as much of this batting on the top as I can all the way around. It just seems to make it a little bit better. I will hit it here with my pinking shears, but still try to trim away some of this excess batting that's right here. And then when I get to these junctures right here, I like to clip on each side of my seam. And being careful to not clip your stitches. Now remember, you had removed some of that excess batting from earlier, but there's still a little bit more batting you might have to clip away from it. That's from the top. But I like to trim away as much as I can and then clip on each side of the seam. Being careful to not clip your stitches. Right there. Want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so she's going to start trimming some of that, and now I'm going to go ahead and sew these together. Just like we had done, just kind of nest up the seam on the bottom. And we're going to sew this long curve. Now this is the set that was pre-quilted. Go ahead and get some of that off on the bottom.
Greg says he needs more than 2 inches for my claws.
For what?
Need more than 2 inches for Greg's paws to get through there.
For his what to get through?
His paws. He's
Paw.
got big hands.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, now I got it.
Is that just the J foot?
Huh?
Greg is also asking, is that just the J foot?
I'm using the regular, isn't this the A foot?
I believe so. Should
Yeah, I
be
think I'm using the A foot.
A foot.
Now I'm going to put the G foot on when I do my top stitching, and you'll see that.
Opening seams or nesting?
Huh?
Frankie was just asking if you're opening seams or nesting.
Let's take a look. Did they nest? Look at that. Look how pretty that is.
Let's see.
See?
Well, look at that.
Look really nice. Let's take a look at this one. Did I not? I haven't sewed this one yet. I was sitting there thinking I'd sewed it. All right, let me get this one sewed. Let's see how well these nest up. Frankie, I really like the pre-quilted. It just seems to be more stable, easier to sew. And there's the bottom seam, all nested up. Nice and pretty. Okay. And we're going to go ahead like we did earlier. I'm going to remove some of this excess batting at the seam. If I can do it, so make sure that hopefully there won't be no pre-quilted stitches in the way. You don't have to, but it just seems to take away some of that extra bulk for when you are doing all your top stitching. This one. And then this one. Now here's one where I've got a little bit of that top stitching right there in my way, so I'll get as much as I can. Well, it's not top stitching, but the pre-quilted stitching. And here too. All right, little bitty fuzzies. And just like we did earlier, I'm going to pink up a little bit of this curve, just a little. Again, you don't have to, I just do a little bit.
Is it a specific just choice for the crimp scissors, or is it suggested?
This is a personal choice. You don't have to clip. You could clip it, or I just have pinking shears. And Martelli's going to be carrying these pretty soon. So this was the first. This is the first testing set. The testing set. We will be having pinking shears coming in. All right. So I'm going to take these two, place them right sides together, and making sure that all of it is alternating. So I want my black on my tan. And I'm going to match up my seams, clip it, go to the other side, match up a seam and nest it. One more. And then get my peaks. How you doing, Margot?
Done.
You done clipping?
Done.
Trimming, trimming, trimming.
Let me see these for a minute. Oh, I got one more left to do.
She thought she was done.
I thought I was done. I got one petal here left to do.
All right, again, I find my spot where I'm going to leave my opening. I back tack, and then I'm coming down to a peak, and I'm kind of getting there, and then I'm swiveling, and I'm just going a couple stitches over before I come back up. I don't like doing, down and then pivot and back up, because that's putting a lot of stress at that point. So I just do a couple stitches across it. What? Now that's a happy accident. I did not do that on purpose. That's funny. All right. All of that's done. So this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to, I think, for trimming all that excess off. So I think the best way to do this one, we go ahead and clip my points. And maybe just pinking shears, or clip my, or if you don't have your pinking shears, clip your curves.
This is kicking my butt.
Well, let me help you.
So what does that mean? What exactly are you doing right now?
Who, me?
Or Lisa?
I am going into that that point, and I'm relaxing that fabric so it will not be a bumble there.
Oh, I see.
So I'm just kind of clipping into that point. So it's relaxing the fabric. So it will look much nicer when we go to turn it and we do our top stitching. And so on this one, I'm going to take the pinking shears and I'm just going to clip around these curves, being careful to not get too close to my stitches. I'm going to go around all 4 of them. It's going to relax it a little bit better, look a little bit better for turning. This one, I don't think we can really do a whole lot of trimming of the excess batting because it's pre-quilted. But it had a lot better feel to it in sewing, like it was more put together. Does that make sense, Margot?
Yes. The batting won't slip around
Yeah,
as
nothing's
much.
moving. It just seemed much,
Stable.
yeah, that's the word, stable.
Stable.
It seemed more stable.
Oh my goodness, I finally got this turned.
Did you finally get a turn? That one gave you fits, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Still is.
Well, if my opening wasn't big enough, you could clip it a little bigger. I didn't know if I had made it big enough. All right, so this one is as much as I can get done on this one. So it's just like Margot's doing over there. Find our opening, which I made it tiny. Lord, Lord, I don't know about that. We're going to squeeze it through.
Ha!
Birthing the baby.
Burping the baby.
There we go. And this is where a good use of your, using your little knitting needle to press out all of your seams would work. Or rolling it back. And then we're going to go to the iron and we're going to give it a good press. Getting there. How you doing, Margot?
Good.
Just rolling it back, rolling it back.
At least this time I got it turned out right.
What?
Yeah, remember last time I couldn't find, I had it all weird.
All right, so I'm just rolling it out. And then we're going to go to the iron and we're going to give it a press, and then we'll get our top stitching done. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, I like this pre-quilted. This is really, it just has a good shape to it.
Yeah, it makes it more stable, I think.
Yeah. Now, I've seen pre-quilted fabric out there. I just don't know if it's 100% cotton. This is a great scrap buster project too. When you're pressing, you're going to go ahead and press in your opening and then top stitches. So I'm going to hand this to Margot. And I'm going to get the machine set up for top stitching. It's looking good. All right. So I have a little trick that I like to do, and I've been doing this for years. It's using the G-foot. It's not my original idea. I'm not sure where I got it. This might have been a G and Sherry. Was it the G-foot, something that they had taught us?
I don't know. I know you taught me that.
All right, so this is I think it's an overlock or an over edge stitch. Well, you know me, it's the G-foot. It has this little black thing that's
Bar sort of
bar or
type.
something that's in the middle. I believe this is an overlock foot or over an edge foot, the G-foot. So I like to use this for top stitching because typically when you're top stitching, you're bringing it at your fabric all the way in, and it's just a lot more to control or handle. This way I have it more along the edge, and as I'm stitching, where I set my needle is I'm going to have it running that top, the edge of the fabric is going to be running along this bar, so it's more consistent. All right.
Deborah Galmon wants to know, what size is that blue bowl cozy at the side of your sewing machine?
Okay, so now this one, what were we doing with this? Where did this come from? What were we? This is not.
It's not a bowl cozy.
No,
What were we
it was
doing?
something else. That's too funny. Because it's not sewed together like a bowl cozy. It is,
What were we doing when we did that? I think we scrapped it anyways.
I think this was an idea. I'm not quite sure. See, because you can see it's a single piece of it was a square, and we folded in the sides, top and bottom. I think this might have been just the itty bitty teeny tiny bowl cozy, and I can't remember.
Were we trying to make an ice cream cozy or something like that?
Yeah, this is when we were playing with making an ice cream cozy.
Yeah,
We were playing with making a plate cozy.
Cozy.
I think this was a flop, but I didn't want to throw it away because it was so cute, so we just kept it. You know, everybody has those. I could show you right here, right on the other side of my table. I'm looking at the flop of the very first, what was that? Curry bag.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't tear it apart, but it's over there holding stuff in it. You know, we don't always keep everything that we do. You should see all the bunnies we've just thrown away.
Yeah.
Because we scrapped those. All right. But I don't know what size this was. I think this was probably a 10-inch square that we were piddling with. But it works for holding my little tiny clips. Did I answer that? I don't know. Okay, so now we have this all ready to go. So I've just set up my G-foot in here. So I'm sliding my needle all the way over to the 0.5. And I'm raising my stitch length up to 3.5. I'm going to go ahead and bring my thread up so I don't have a knotted mess. And we're going to start where the side is, where we got our opening, and we're just going to top stitch all the way around. Fold it over. Gotta catch that batting. Under here. Okay, there we go. Now here's why I like to remove a lot of that extra bulk, because it goes across quite a bit right here at that juncture. I didn't like that. One more of these bumpy things to go. Okay, see if you
One
can
done.
clip the strings and see if you can smooth it out a little bit. All right, now we're going to get the last one done. This is the one with the pre-quilted.
Does look nice and sturdy.
Yeah, it's a little bit, it's not as floppy as I think the other one. So
yeah,
I'm really liking the look of having it pre-quilted. That's just nice.
yeah.
Look how pretty. Oh yeah, so we're going to get this one done. So, you know, you heard that bong, bong, bong when it goes across the that middle juncture. Well, it's going to do it again. Hope we don't break a needle, right?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
We haven't done one yet, so.
I have. It scares me. Just startles me every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big one coming up. Here we go. Take a breath. Take a breath.
She holds her breath every time she goes over that.
I do. I hold my breath. Oh, Lord. The key is don't be pulling on your machine while you're going through something like that. Just let it go through it. Have it all smoothed out and ready to go.
Also asked about the pointed tip bowl that you have on your desk. Is that a...
Oh, that's made with the other, that's a hexagon, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, this one's made out of the, yeah, this is a hexagon that this one's made out of. A large hexagon. Okay, here we go. We got 2 more to go, Margot. 2 more. Haven't broken a needle yet. One more. What? Coming around the corner. And that is so pretty. Okay, just some trimming on this one, and we should be done. And we didn't break a needle.
That's the best part.
Best part. I'm going to do a little pressing on that one in the
I
center.
can do that.
What do we do with it? Yes, that's nice.
I really like the quilted.
I do too. I think I like the quilted.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think about that?
Especially when you wash it, it'll be come out so much
Yeah,
better.
I think, yeah, if it's washed because it's quilted, but I also think if you was to pre-wash your fabrics, it's going to be a little bit better.
Yes.
I always, every time I've washed mine, I've washed.
Washed?
Every time I've always had to repress them. Anyway, they just have a little bit of shrinkage. But look at the difference, just so that you can see. Pre-quilted. This is where I did a 1.5 inch grid, you know, both ways on the fabric. And this one here is just a very simple. Just cut your pieces out, just cut them out and sew it up. So this one here was my first one that I had done pre-quilted, but I only did it in one direction. So it's pre-quilted, but when Frankie had said it, I thought, I need to go try that. So I did this one, and I thought, well, let's just do a little bit more. So that's why for you today, I did where we had done, you know, from
Both sides.
you know, both sides. So we had more of a grid on it instead of just a single. So that's the difference. Not quilted at all. This one's got a single line, you know, 1.5 inches going across the fabric. And this one here is where we did a cross hatch all the way across the fabric. What I love about the 4-patch bowl cozy versus one that was a single piece that you're trimming it in is so you get a better look. You get more, you can have more choices of fabric. You can make it all scrappy, but you also have it where it's also, the batting is being held together by the seams on each piece as they're being sewed together. So to me, it's a little bit more stable than a solid piece, particularly, and you just got that one seam going across it. So I really like the look of the 4-patch. I like how well it goes together. I love the options of being able to change up your colors, your fabrics, you know, where you can have instead of just a single fabric or one fabric on one side, one fabric on the other. It just gives you just a little bit more of a fun look to it. And you can make it totally scrappy, make each one different colors. How about this? You make a quilt and you have extra pieces that you have to cut off that's already quilted, you know, turn them into bowl cozies because you got these little pieces to easily cut them out. So it'll just be a lot of fun. Great scrap buster. So what do you think? What do y'all think? Isn't that just so cute? I really like that. Just nice and cozy.
Deidre says it looks great. Great.
I can't remember who it was that who particularly wanted this video because I guess my instructions were hard to read. I don't know. I'm not a really good pattern writer. But that's it. So I really like how well these turned out, and they're just adorable. So y'all like this class? That was a good one? What do you think?
Class. Good
Was it a
class.
good class? It was a good class? No, we didn't break a needle or nothing.
No.
Okay, so what's next? In 2 weeks, we will be doing our simple shoulder wrap.
Shoulder wrap.
Simple shoulder wrap. So we hope you enjoyed today's class. If you have any questions, all you have to do is email us at learn@martellinotions.com and we'll get back with you. If you need to pick up these templates, go ahead and pick them up today. They are on special for the month of February 2023. So we do have them as the product of the month. So now's a good time to pick them up if you don't have the 4-patch bowl cozies.
Yeah.
Or any of the supplies that you might need to put this together. Very easy, a lot of fun, goes together quickly, great gifts for anybody. All right, you ready to say goodbye?
Yes.
We're going to say goodbye.
We're gonna say
Thank
goodbye.
you so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful day and God bless. Bye-bye.